Discussions about the threat of global warming generally focus on the link between humans' greenhouse gas emissions and rapidly rising temperatures, along with the idea that reducing future emissions can limit temperature rise to survivable levels. This premise is dangerously wrong. When the lag time for full impact of atmospheric CO2 is taken into account, it becomes apparent that current levels are already sufficient to cause deadly temperature increases within the next few decades. Furthermore, civilization and positive feedback loops continue releasing more CO2 and methane each year, adding to the already unsustainable levels at an ever-increasing pace. At present, there is no way to effectively reduce atmospheric greenhouse gas concentrations fast enough to prevent these lethal temperature increases. Direct air capture is not practical on a large scale due to the huge energy and material requirements needed to remove highly dispersed CO2 from the atmosphere. And while adding trees, rebuilding soil, and reviving marine ecosystems are all worthwhile goals, it would require centuries to measurably reduce CO2 concentrations, even if their coverage and biomass were doubled. Since current CO2 levels are already too high, and we have no way to effectively reduce them in time, our only option is to decouple the temperature problem from the CO2 problem. When some of the sun's energy is reflected back into space by surfaces on Earth, it has an overall cooling effect on the planet. This phenomenon is called the albedo effect. Solar radiation management is the concept of raising the albedo of the Earth to thereby absorb less of the sun's energy, stabilizing and then reducing temperatures to allow the time needed for humanity to transition to a sustainable carbon-neutral energy model, while nature-based solutions slowly reduce greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere. The MEER framework is a safe and comprehensive plan to deploy mirror arrays for local and global temperature reduction and clean energy production. Using specular solar reflectors to modify reflectivity and heat absorption at the planet's surface is the only scalable solution that is ready to be deployed today. The MEER framework meets material and energy constraints and encourages global collaborative implementation and controllability, while enhancing food system security and resilience. It also uniquely addresses the root cause of the problem via more efficient production of clean, concentrating solar energy, while being free of risks inherent to SRM concepts that inject loose chemicals into the atmosphere. These risks include stratospheric ozone depletion, acid rains, ecosystem damage, and the inhibition of solar energy production. Materials to make mirrors and solar reflectors are abundant throughout the world, and they can be manufactured using solar thermal energy. Once deployed, the mirrors are easily configured into arrays that will last for decades while requiring very little maintenance, and will immediately begin reflecting excess sunlight away to prevent its conversion into heat, thus reducing temperatures on both local and global scales. All materials used are easily recycled, and arrays can be enlarged, reduced, or moved as needed to balance weather and temperature trends as the Earth gradually cools, to promote ecosystem recovery and enable atmospheric carbon removal by natural sinks. Solar radiation management using surface mirrors can be an integral part of the comprehensive energy rebalancing which will be required to achieve a sustainable, enjoyable life on this planet for all living things. Please go to MEER.org for more information and the opportunity to donate or participate in this vital nonprofit endeavor.